With 10 weeks of competition behind us and a break week in between, the final 4 races are now upon us for Season 4 as the season begins to edge closer and closer to its end. Hello everyone and welcome to Neo Racing League Division Alpha. It is round 11 and we are at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Can he get provisional pole or pole in its entirety? He goes up to the line, see that red light flashing for the amount of ERS left, a tenth faster, loses 2 tenths in that final sector, and that is only P4 for Gary with a 16.6 behind Shoot Fizzle, Rupsi Cola and Marcel. We've got Shoot Fizzle up to the line, doesn't go quicker, a tenth down, lanes in P3. Marcel's time looking good, but we see JPS up towards the line. Can the Mercedes get a time on the ball finally? Goes P8, 17.0. Not what you want to be seeing if you're that Mercedes. As we have Speed Queen coming up towards the final corner. Can the Red Bull, as Marcel goes quickest, 16.2. I don't think he's twat on that, but 16.2, 16.4 for Speed Queen. That will put them into P2, and that is actually the session done. Marcel, right at the end, goes even quicker. Didn't need to, but did. 16.2. Alpine on pole position ahead of Speed Queen. 33 lap race, round 11 for the Portuguese Grand Prix for Neo Racing League Division Alpha, and it's lights out and away we go. Marcel gets a decent start, but Speed Queen's going to come up towards closer and closer. Gets actually even better start in the second phase. Speed Queen flies by, Shoot Fizzle flies by. Marcel had a bit of a bog down that second phase. Marcel already dropping 2 positions, trying to make a move back on Shoot Fizzle. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't, because they're still side by side as we go to turn 4. Very tricky conditions to do so in that move. Here comes Rupsi Cola. He flies by for podium place. That Williams flies past the Alpine. Pole sitter is tumbling down the order, goes for a dive, collision on the entry into the turn. The Williams goes wide. That is not what you want to be doing if you're the Marcel, who is already tumbling down the order. You're making collisions with other drivers and you just get back by, but that might be looked at by the stewards as Marcel runs very, very wide, and that gives them position back to Rupsi Cola. The Red Bull is going to have to do a bit of defending now. No DRS under wet weather conditions, so this is all down to slipstream and true pace. We're going to see side by side goes the Red Bull, goes the Aston Martin into turn 1, around the outside, he pushes him a bit wide, goes Shoot Fizzle. Speed Queen trying to make defence, but they're keeping it clean. No sort of wheel banging at this point as we go into turn 4. Shoot Fizzle has the inside line, but will have the worst traction as Speed Queen keeps the outside line. Meanwhile, the Williams of Rupsi Cola is in the background. This is opportunity for him to make a move if these two have any sort of issue. Bit of contact mid-corner there, but they're still side by side as we go up towards the double right-hander now. Can they continue? Speed Queen just backs out as Shoot Fizzle swoops around down the inside. Goes Rupsi Cola trying to make an impression on the Red Bull as the Williams tries to make anything work, but no, they can't. Shoot has pulled that 1.7 second gap over Speed Queen, and that is very, very crucial. We see Speed Queen's side, they're coming to the pits. So does Marcel. We'll see what tyres that Red Bull and that Alpine decide to go on. I don't believe there's any fighting heading into that. We see mediums for the Red Bull. Will that be the same for Marcel? We see everyone come into the pit lane. Mediums for Speed Queen, hards for both this guy Neo and Marcel. Half the field make their way into the pit lane, the other half stay out. DRS has now been enabled. We see Soda, unfortunately though for him, has spun round. I believe he spun around on his own at the final corner. Yeah, this could be absolutely crucial as we see the Red Bull go get the slipstream. It will now turn to DRS as well for the Red Bull, but they're both burning battery. They're both trying to make the move. Here we go, side by side. Gary moves his way into the race lead ahead of Shoot Fizzle. Well, so he'll see whether that Aston Martin can get close enough. That DRS and ERS is almightily powerful because here comes Shoot. Shoot flies by, shoots his shot, and he goes into P1. Yeah, those mediums will begin to fade into more or less obscurity in terms of pace compared to the hards. Up the inside, here we go. Up the inside goes Gary. Wasn't quite expecting it there. However, it is certainly a warm welcome as Gary trying to make the move. It's definitely not over for the race lead. These two are very close. Up the inside goes Gary. Can he make the move stick? Is opportunity, but shoot, seems to have it covered once more. That could be the opportunity for Gary, who is a bit closer. Can Gary look to the inside? Makes the move, goes later, but shoot, covers him off. DNF last week, comes back this week with a vengeance. Rounds the final corner to come to the line and wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. The Aston Martin of Shoot Fizzle takes and extends his championship lead.
The order in the points almost remains the same. The only one that's changed is Funny Waveband drops out. Sakura jumps in and takes that final points position home. Shoot Fizz is now on 143 points after taking victory, with the Speed Queen, who came third, 20 points behind, and Garrigate at 8 points behind her. Then looking at the second half of the grid, Constant Soda in P11 with 18 points failed to finish in Portugal. I'll be hoping for better next time out. The championship shows that Aston Martin are being closed down now by Mercedes and now Red Bull, who have Garrigator at their disposal. So the constructors, at least, will be very close. Shoot Fizz is now going to aim for a championship next time out, but we'll see how it goes.